You seem to have recognized Quentin Tarantino's talent early on. How did you first meet him?
I got the screenplay from the agency I was represented by at the time. And when I read it, I mean, it was fascinating. It was one of the best screenplays I've ever had. But I wanted to play Mr. Pink. And so I kept going back and forth with the phone calls with the agency and with the producer about the fact that I wanted to play Mr. Pink. And finally, I went to 20th Century Fox and met Quentin. And he was there with Harvey. And they allowed me to audition for the role of Mr. Pink, even though the role of Mr. Blonde was already mine. And so Quentin wasn't going to have it. He didn't like my Mr. Pink. So it's not that he didn't like it. He had me in mind for Blonde, and that was it. But that's when I first met him.
Regarding the filming, were you prepared for the violence that your character, Mr. Blonde, had to unleash in the film?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I wasn't prepared for it, but I would say that I didn't anticipate it. I went along with the text. I didn't write it, I interpreted it, but I depended on Quentin as a director to show me the way to go. And to a certain extent, I mean, I think it succeeded. I don't think anybody had ever seen a picture like that before, or that kind of violence depicted in that kind of a way. And it's been copied a million times since then. No one ever did it successfully. But the violence part of it was in the writing.
Something the film and the game have in common is they both talk about you can do things as a professional or you can do things as a psychopath. To you, what's kind of the finer points of being the consummate professional versus being a stark raving psychopath?
Well, I mean, I think there's a very fine line between the professionalism and the nut. And I think that, you know, I think something can happen to a criminal in the midst of doing a crime, that some things may go haywire. And, but, you know, usually guys who are bad guys, they don't know that they're bad. And they think they're doing, in fact, right. And a lot of people who think they're doing right are not. You know, I mean, watch the news and, you know, the various things that are going on around the world. I think James Cagney said in his biography that if you play a character that's nuts or evil, you should try to find some goodness within the character. And if you're playing a character that's very noble and very smart and wise and good, you should look for the darkness in that character. So therefore, you're not a one-dimensional. And that's the only way I could answer the question. I mean, I think that, you know, bad guys don't think that they're bad, and good guys think that they're good. And it might not really be the case.